Well, hey guys, it's Jessica, and today the sound may sound a little weird because I am in Alaska on a cruise ship in Glacier Bay, and we're gonna get ready together. Why not? Let's get into it. So I have my little setup here. I literally had to like drag things from inside like our cruise room, but we're on the balcony, and I was gonna do it inside just because I knew the sound would be better. But then I was like, Jessica, you cannot be in like Glacier Bay sailing through Alaska and not film outside and let you guys see the beauty that is behind me, because we have just been like in majestic heaven this entire trip. It is, you can't even like, I feel like I can't soak in all the beauty. It's crazy. So vlogs to come on Tyler's channel eventually. It is Tyler Travels TV. That's where all of our vlogs go. But today we are just, it's actually a day at sea. We've been looking at Glacier Bay and learning about the history and stuff, but we're starting to move out of it, and I'm like, well, I need to actually put makeup on my face because tonight we're gonna go to dinner here on the ship. We're on the Norwegian Bliss, if you were curious. By the time you're watching this, we'll be back. So for this trip, I actually only brought this little bag. Like for me, that's pretty little. I can zip it. It's not perfectly organized right now, but it's this little bag from Laura Mercier that they gave me at some point recently with PR in it. But I didn't bring very much for myself, and I'm kind of moving towards that in a lot of ways in my life. But like, these are all of the brushes I brought. That's it. And then I brought a sponge. I actually brought the beauty blender because I figure honestly when I'm done I'll probably leave it behind. It's pretty old. It's getting on its last leg. It's ripped. Otherwise I would normally bring my L'Oreal one. So today I actually need to put moisturizer on. So what I've been doing this entire trip has been pretty much the exact same look. It's pretty low key. It's whatever I can do. It's kind of quick, you know what I mean? Because usually we're just trying to get ready fast. So the Tatcha, the Dewy Skin Cream is first. If you see anyone poke a head around, it might be my friends Ben and Emily that we're here with, because they're, I don't know if they're outside, but their room is right there. So I've just been putting this on to moisturize, and then the next step is SPF, because despite the fact that it's chilly here, that sun is still not playing around. Yesterday we went on like a 7.5 mile hike, but it was like 7 hours long. It was like legitimately backpacking. You had to like make sandwiches before you went, like bring them with you. And we literally hiked up to a glacier, and it was so exhausting. We were snowshoeing through a part of it, but it was so amazing. But I was glad I had sunblock on. So my favorite sunblock, and the only one I brought, is this Paula's Choice Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense SPF 30. And this is my favorite facial sunblock. I'm using this viewfinder as the mirror. I really hope I'm doing okay. It's the only sunblock I brought because honestly, the only skin that's showing most of the day is my neck. So I would just bring it down my neck. But it's kind of pricey. Like if you were to try to use it all over your body, like on a beach vacation, it'd be way too expensive to do that with. It's really just meant for the face, but it works. And then the lip balm I brought was the Drunk Elephant Lippy Balm, but I ran out. Like there's like a little casing around it and you can't really get to it. So should have checked that before I left, but I happened to bring another kind of lip balm, the Laneige. You can hear an announcement, but I'm gonna keep going. The Laneige Lip Glowy Balm in the Pear. I have this one in Pear and then Grapefruit. I bought another one towards the end of the Sephora VIP sale because I loved that first one so much. And this was one of the ones that wasn't sold out yet. It smells great, but I like this formula. I've been wearing it this entire trip, and my lips have not gotten windburned or anything like that, because that was my concern. They've protected them. So I've been using this MAC Strobe cream. It's just a little baby size, 6 mils. I've been using it kind of as a primer, and honestly the only reason I brought this particular one was because it was more travel size, but I have been using the MAC Strobe cream a lot. But if you watch my recent CYO video, I discovered another product that is awfully similar, so you can go check that out, linked below. This just adds a little bit of glow to the skin, I feel like. Nothing too crazy. It's still kind of moisturizing too, but it's not like glitter particles or anything like that. I really like it. I mean, this is one you could totally mix with your foundation. I did that one of the nights and it looked nice too. So speaking of CYO, the foundation I ended up bringing is the CYO Long Lasting Lifeproof. I have it in the shade 101. You can buy it. I bought mine on Walgreens.com. So still, it's so cool. So I've been applying this a couple ways. I'm gonna see if I can get my mirror positioned here. Some of the times I've just kind of applied it to my skin this way and then kind of blended it in. Other times I'll just dip my sponge right into it. But it's got some decent coverage. I just cleaned this sponge again and I feel like it's kind of shearing it out more than like it did, for example, last night. You can hear some birds. So the day before, so yesterday we were in a city called Skagway, Alaska. We got to see a little bit of the downtown. We went to a couple breweries to just try some of the local beers. And then we actually happened to see one of our tour guides at the last brewery, we were at the Klondike Brewery. And then we went to the Skagway Brewery. But before that is when we went on that hike. So it was just, we were so exhausted. We had just a little bit of time to kill before we needed to walk back to the ship. So it was not too bad. I'm not a big, I like beaches, but I'm not a big beach person. So this is like my kind of trip. Like lots of sightseeing, plenty of nature. I feel like y'all probably can't see it very well, but I do feel like, I think I've gotten a little sun here and it looks a little bit more like a gray cast. But I don't feel like it looked like that the other days. Like I said, I think it's because I got a little bit of sun because it was like perfect. When we first got to Seattle, it was like a perfect match, but now it's already looking like some, I know the lighting's like really crummy. It'd be so much better if I were facing out, but again, then you'd just be looking at our like patio door. So the concealer I brought is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I have to say, I've learned to love this one. And when I first tried it years ago, I was like, what in the world is the hype? But the more I've used it, the more I've realized that it is the most simple concealer. It blends in, but it stays in place. It's like creamy, but it's really not. It's more just like it dries down to this satin and it just stays. And so usually it'll crease like once and I'll just kind of tap it in and then it's good. I don't even need to set it. And it's one of the few concealers I've ever found that do that. And that's why I, in the end up traveling with it a lot because it just works. It just works. And I feel like I should talk about it more because I really do use it a lot, but I also love so many other concealers, but there's a reason I always end up traveling with it, you know? Put it away like I don't need to do my other eye, please. So the first day we were here, we were at sea, but then the next, like the first excursion we took was in Juneau, and it was like a bike and brew, so we biked 8 miles. I know, you'd think I would like be calorie neutral with like the amount that we've eaten on this cruise and drank versus like how much we've expended, but I'm pretty sure I've still eaten and drank more than we've expended. But yeah, it was like this 8-mile bike ride through Juneau. It was so beautiful. Again, we saw the Mendenhall Glacier. We've seen so many glaciers, and yeah, it's just so beautiful. So for brows, I brought 2 different things. I brought, for days that I'm really trying to be quick, the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil. I love this, but it's almost gone and I haven't bought a new one. I need to buy like 5. It's in the shade Brunette. Perfect shade match. And then I also brought the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade, but I brought my old one. It's in the shade Medium Brown, but I bought a new one, and if you saw me try it in the video, it pulls really red. It's bizarre. So this one, I just was like, fine, I'll just use my old one again. But that's my method of choice right now. So while we were on the Bike and Brew portion, there were only like 10 of us, maybe 12, I think it was 10, on the actual little bike tour. And one of them happened to be a subscriber of ours, and it was so sweet. She was so nice, so thank you for saying hi. Yeah, it's just one of those things, it's such a small world that doesn't happen very often, so when it does, especially in one of those like, wow, what are the odds that, you know, we're on the same cruise ship on this small excursion together, you know what I mean? It was pretty cool, so that was nice. Ooh, the sun's out. Can really see my fine lines. I will say the one thing I regret not bringing that I almost always bring is my Missha BB Cream, because honestly, foundation like the CYO one, it doesn't look the best in sunlight, and that BB cream is so good. It's got, you know, maybe slightly less coverage, but it's so forgiving. It kind of matches different tones, so like if I did get a little sun, it doesn't look totally different. And I'm gonna add some bronzer to this to make it look more even, but regardless, it's so easy. I apply it with my fingers. It's so tried and true. I've gone through a few of those, and it is just my favorite, and I always bring it, and I decided not to try to pack lighter, and I totally regret not bringing it because this would have been the trip to bring it on since we're doing so many like adventurous things. So the eye primer I brought is the Smashbox Lid Primer in white. I don't even think they sell this white shade anymore, and it is such a shame because I really enjoy this, and the more I've used it on this trip particularly, the more I've realized how good it is. It, like, my shadow does not budge. Like on that hike, I put just a little dusting of like some shimmer because I don't know, why not? I guess I didn't need to, but I did it anyway. It still looked good by the end, and that was insane to me. I really think this primer is pretty good, but they don't make the white. I think they just make like maybe just like a neutral like translucent shade, if that. So I don't know, I'm gonna use this bad boy up till it's gone. So the only eyeshadow I brought is this little NARS palette. It's their Voyageur eyeshadow palette, and it's their Suede palette. I talked about this recently. This is one of those palettes that I love because it's got pretty much everything I would ever need, and on top of that, it is one of those groupings of shadows that they always kind of look smooth no matter what you do, no matter what you apply. It just looks like seamless and smooth and pretty and lightly shimmery, and I really like that. So I brought this, but I also brought this another CYO one, the CYO Shimmer Switch, like bronzer highlighter duo thing in Lost in Space. And I've used this a lot when I'm in a hurry and I just want like I'll literally mix it all and just put it all over the lid and into the crease, and it just looks like a pretty wash of color. And then I'll dip into the bronzer part a little bit. Maybe I'll do that. Honestly, that's what I've done more than anything. I might put a little bit of this on. Usually just kind of like dipped into all of this mirror and then just tapped it onto the lid. Get a little bit more. It's so slight, but it's so pretty and it's so fast. I think this is what I did for the hike yesterday. So for the hike, by the way, you get on this really cool train. It was like an old train they built during the Klondike Gold Rush that people would take. And so it was just really cool. It was like the White Pass Railway, and it was so beautiful. But I'm gonna get some of the bronzer. For the hike, we had to get off earlier than everyone else. So like our whole train car, we're loaded up. They gave us like waterproof boots and waterproof pants and like packs filled with snacks. We made sandwiches ahead of time. They had like this stuff to do it. We were literally ready to go hike for 7 hours. And they drop us off and we're all just like standing with all our hiking gear, and they've got their giant hiking packs with first aid stuff and extra snacks and stuff. And we're just standing there, and the rest of the train leaves and they're all waving at us and filming us. And I'm sure they were all like, wow, they're legitimate backpackers. And we're like, I don't think we knew what we got ourselves into. It was so worth it in the end though, but it was totally more than what any of us expected. It was really cool though. And then sometimes I will grab a little brush in the bronzer part and just kind of run it along my lower lash line here, just to add a little bit. There's a giant water slide, and I think people are reacting to that. If you can hear it. Tyler and Ben ended up doing the water slide. If I didn't say, so we're here with our friends Ben and Emily, who have been in vlogs with us in the past. We love traveling with them, and it's just been so much fun. But there's this water slide that's like really scary. Like you go up and upside down, and like half the people don't even make it into the next tube, so then you fly back down, and I'm like, nope. So Emily and I watched them and cheered them on, and we rode the other fun water slide that was a little more tame. But they did it, and it was so crazy, and they both ended up actually getting through the whole slide. But it was so fun to watch other people, and I have a feeling that's what I'm hearing people react to. For liner, a lot of the times I did bring my Hourglass 1.5 millimeter liner, and I also brought my Revolution Renaissance Flick liner. Yeah, love these. That's all I brought. But I've used this only like once. Usually like if we're gonna go out to like, I think one night we went to a nicer dinner, and I was like, oh, I'll actually do like a wing, and so I might do that. I've used the Hourglass a lot, but the past few days I've actually just been grabbing this dark color with like a really flat thin brush and wiggling it into it, and then just wiggling it at the base of my lashes just to kind of tight line that way. But I've mentioned this before, this is really hard to do if you have a shadow that's not incredibly dark, incredibly matte, and incredibly pigmented, because otherwise it doesn't stick where you put it. You kind of got to keep dipping back in, but this one's a really good one. And it really just darkens the base of your lashes. That's the whole key. And sometimes it gets a little sloppy, and that's okay. So we also did go-karting on this ship, and it was pretty fun. You have to pay extra for it. We were like, well, let's just try it. And I had fun. The rest of them kept making fun of me because I was going pedal to the metal, like as fast as I could, but I would slow down a little bit around corners because I didn't want to freaking crash. And they were making fun of me that I was going slow, and I should have been on the right side where the slow people go. And I was like, I was going as fast as I could. They all had to make fun of me, but they all thought it was lame. I thought it was fun. I did bring my little Amazon little poof so that I can kind of like, if I wanted to create like a little like wing with the powder, I could. So this is about the point that I make sure I didn't get any of that like darker shadow under my eye. Sometimes it'll kind of fall out. To try to brighten it just a little bit more, because we are getting like way less sleep, I'll grab just a little bit more of that and just press it in with my fingers. Because then I'm going to add a little bit of powder under my under eye to make sure it stays for the evening. Although if we were going to be in the sun, I didn't end up powdering because I knew it would just look a little bit cakier than maybe I would want as the sun's like glinting on us, you know. So I didn't, like, again, when we were hiking. Everything stayed pretty well though. But the thing is, it wasn't like it was hot, so I wasn't like sweating, but it was raining the first like few miles. It was crazy, guys. I can't believe I survived. The snowshoeing part was really hard, and I was falling so much and laughing so hard because it's like when you're a kid and you're just like falling down the hills and you don't really care. It's kind of like that because we couldn't really get wet. We were in waterproof everything head to toe, so it was more just fun, but it was also like, also I could fall down this ravine and it's kind of scary. Like we're right by a glacier, it's crazy. So I'm gonna set it. I brought my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, and I'm just gonna kind of set that area and around my nose as well. This mirror is really dirty. So we're about ready for some mascara and then a couple of face products. I brought my L'Oreal Lash Paradise. I didn't bring my lash curler because again, it was like, it's a nice thing to have, but when I'm limited on space and I'm limited on time, that's an easy step to cut out that I do think helps, but I don't think it's completely necessary, especially if you have a mascara you love. I can go kind of really push it up and it'll really kind of curl those lashes on their own. I think we decided that our favorite cruise lines, well, I mean, we already knew this, Norwegian and Disney. Disney's amazing with kids, period. You can't beat it, you just can't. We went when I was pregnant, and I can't wait till she's a little bit older because we're totally gonna take her on, but that you cannot beat how much they have for families, for kids alone, for families together, for parents separately. You can't beat it. It's expensive, but it's amazing. But Norwegian outside of that is the bomb. You can dine whenever you want. We've got reservations for different restaurants. I mean, it is just, I could talk about that for a long time, but it's amazing. Watch the vlogs, you'll see why. Okay, so for my face, I feel like this is like, feels like a lot of makeup. It's a lot of steps, but I feel like I did a good job packing just like one thing for each. I brought this Nudies, it's the Nudestix Nudies All Over Face Color in Bondi Bay. It's newer to me, but I've really enjoyed it. And I've just been kind of, if I'm going really fast, I'll just kind of tap a little bit, but most of the time I'm doing kind of a little thing, and you can use the side or the little back end to blend it. I also actually brought a separate brush because I didn't have a lot of experience using this brush and I was worried it wouldn't work well, but it actually works really well. So this is a great option for travel if you like cream products. But on this side I'll use the brush I brought too because I do prefer that brush. The Sephora number 41. Just disperses it a little more evenly. And I'm going to take a little bit, kind of put it up there. And then I have a blush shade in this too I really like. I didn't end up bringing, but I could have brought and been very happy with too. So the blush and highlighter that I brought is just this combo one. It's one of my favorites from Kosas. It's the Color and Light Cream, and it's the duo called 8th Muse, and it's just this little cream blush and highlighter. So the way, oh, this is a better mirror. That's what I should have been using. I've literally just been tapping my finger into the blush and then tapping it onto my cheek. Now you could totally, the first day or two I was using my sponge, but I realized I actually like the way the finger applies it. You just get a little bit, start on the apple and work your way up and out. Sometimes if you get a little heavy-handed like I just did, I'll just grab my beauty blender and just kind of even things out a little bit. And then for the highlight, same thing, but I'm using my ring finger. I'm just getting a little bit, tapping it up there. I'm really into like applying it in that little region there. So future us, since we're almost done for this cruise, we are kayaking tomorrow in Ketchikan, Alaska. I cannot wait. That was like my thing when we were all talking about what we wanted to do for shore excursions. I was like, I want to kayak. Like that was what I wanted to do. So I'm really, really excited. We've got all kinds of waterproof gear for that, although I have a feeling they'll provide it as well. I'm gonna tap a little bit on my brow bone here. I've been doing that. It's kind of hard to get it up there. A little bit on the forehead. I love this because it adds like a glow that you can barely see, but you totally see, but you don't know it's on purpose. You know what I mean? So another option I had was this CYO like highlighter and bronzer, where if I'm wanting to amp it up for night, I would kind of swirl all of this and just kind of put it in the same bronzery spots. But I don't really feel the need to do that today. So for lips, I brought a couple of options. This NARS Satin Lip Pencil in Expiry I really, really like. It's this gorgeous kind of like mauve-y pink color, but it's not too dark, so it's just pretty. And I like that it kind of doubles as like a lip liner as well. And they're just kind of comfortable. You do have to reapply. And then I brought I didn't mean to actually bring both of these. I think one was in my purse and I didn't see it when I was like bringing it. I'm like, oops, oh well. The Fenty, this one I did pick out. The Fenty Gloss Balm in Fussy is one of my favorites. But then this one snuck in the YSL Liquid Color Balm in number 12, which is funny because this is the one I've worn more than anything, so I'm glad it came. This is what I'm gonna wear today. This just wears off, like, it just like slowly disappears. It's amazing. So you don't feel like you have to reapply because it's more balmy, but it definitely has color. The shade number 12 is the one I would recommend. It's so comfy, it's so like thin and lightweight. It's not sticky like a gloss. They're expensive, you guys, but I feel like it makes my lips look so healthy, and it just took that long. It's so easy. So that's everything. Let me show you this like in actual better lighting so you can kind of see my little setup down here. So this is what it looks like in actual, like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty, you guys. But this is what it looks like. I feel like it looks pretty nice. I think the bronzer kind of even it out, but this is what I've been doing pretty much every single day and night. Again, sometimes I'll grab a darker color from the actual shadow to like darken it up for the evening. I did bring a red lipstick, a Charlotte Tilbury one, but it was really dry towards the end of the night and it was kind of running all over the place, and I was like, so I don't really want to wear it again, and it's making me think twice about even keeping it in my collection. We'll see, because it was expensive. But yeah, this is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had so much fun just like getting ready with you here. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, let me know. I'd love to do them more often in the other various places we travel. I've done it a couple times, like I did it when we were in Disney World last, and that was really fun, which is why I did this one. But this is like way better. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, I hope you'll subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.